Will you be married with a toxic person? Would you be a friend with a toxic person? Would you allow a toxic person to come into your house, to your environment? So let's extract this to the field of behavior, to the field of emotional state. We get married with habits that become toxic. We allow into our vibe of peace energies that become toxic. We become friends with a way of perceiving life. It becomes toxic. So, what a paradox. I don't want toxic vibe in my life, but I'm married with toxic habits. So, if you repeat the same pattern again, therefore, we cannot be surprised about the results that we're having. So, imagine if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend, family, close friend, situation, job, and every single moment you get close or near, it creates imbalance in your vibe. How long will you be able to sustain a connection, a relationship, to be close to something like that? So we human, we can demonstrate how strong and how long we are able to sustain a bag full of stones and climb and climb and climb mountains without even knowing where we are going. So, the direction of life is based on our choices. So, if we want to get married with positive vibes, with love, with good energies, with a strong and visible meaning, with definite principles, clear ones, if we make life simple but powerful, will you have a girlfriend, a friend, a neighbor, someone that supports you, that loves you without interest, that contributes in your life, that creates a unity, a bundle? Will you like that? I guess the answer is yes. So we will not go for why are you not doing this with your emotional state? Because why sometimes we interpret it as a response that will bring guilt, a response that will bring punishment. For example, if you make a mistake and I come to you and I say, why did this happen? You might choose to be silent. You might even choose to say something contrary just to save yourself about the consequences. So when we find ourselves let's say in a pool of water where you cannot get out, if you ask for why, the answer will be, is your fault. What are you doing here? Why did you came here if you don't know how to swim? So why is not very helpful. Remember, the way we use the language will knock different vibes and energies and doors, and it will open different windows of understanding internally. So I will not use why is my life like this. I will just go to if I am choice or not. If I have the intention to choose or not. If I can choose to be free or choose to be a slave. Remember, if I'm married with someone and I don't feel the joy flowing, it is not the person, it is me that maybe I've forgotten that I have the choice to decide if I want to continue or I want to start a new journey. So for me, in my language, there is no beginning and ending. We continue from the point we start. Now, the quality, the essence, the vibe, the expression is what will tell us, will give us the message of the why. That's why comes after. Why comes during the journey. If you are driving or you are flying to a place, you're going to holidays, the why will be when you are just having a bloody nice cocktail. You are enjoying life when you are eating a wonderful cake, or you are having a glass of wine, or you're seeing your friends. That's when you can understand the phrase why. And it will reveal himself. You will not even need to ask, why am I here in this wonderful paradise? The why will express. So we will understand why when we are on the journey, when the decision is made, the intention is clear, and the new expression, the quality of the choice is already exposing herself. That's when it's useful to understand why. This is why when we look in retrospection, we don't ask the question. You just say, oh wow, I'm grateful I went through this bridge, to this dark, to this situation, because that's the why unfolding himself as the consequence of the choice. So I don't want to have toxic friends. Well, maybe I am the one that I am linked to a toxic emotional glass length perspective. So the problem is not my partner or my wife or my family. The problem is how long am I sustaining the image, the energy, the past of that experience. Let me share with you something, and I hope this can break it down a little bit. You have a situation or something that you categorize as embarrassing. And anytime you think about that image, it brings you a feeling. So the feeling is what makes you think about that in different ways. The feeling is what makes you regret. Oh wow, I felt like I lost this, I missed this. This was very tragic, embarrassing. That feeling will make me think, and it will multiply exponentially million types of thoughts, and that's when we get distracted. So you invite me to your house, your mom has baked a nice cake, and she said, Ralph, do you want a piece of cake? I say, no, I'm okay, thank you. Once I am at home, I'm like, oh wow, I should have said that. Yes, that cake was so nice. Wow. I feel like now it will be sweet. It could be sweet and tasty, and that feeling will multiply the thoughts. So there is regret, and it will link because it's a chain. Yeah, this is the same thing that happens the last time. Oh wow, so you are repeating it again. So you see, you don't have confidence in you. You are shy. It brings out a lot of things. So I'm married to the habit and behavior of going back to the past and staying close to the feeling. And by illusion, with illusion, let's say I have the illusion that I can extract something from that thinking, and I can change the past. So I can even imagine that I said yes and I was already tasting and feeling how the cake was. And that's the suffering. That's the stuck. That's when we stop the car, and now we don't know where we are traveling. We just follow the thoughts. So in a marriage or in a relationship, the first thing to look at from love, from compassion, from the willingness to observe and transcend the message will be, who am I married to? What kind of repetition am I constantly making? when it comes to the focus internally. So I have friends that or people close to me, they have revealed that they cannot help thinking about that very thing, that punctual thing. They cannot help. I say, yeah, well, do you think you cannot help, or you feel that you cannot help? I think and feel that I cannot help. Okay, let's try a new game. If you had to pay something and it gets expensive anytime, just because of the fact that you are holding it, what solution comes to you? Obviously, I don't want to pay something expensive, just the fact that I'm just holding it. I guess I will drop it there. That's exactly what happens. So we will pay the price in a smooth way, in a subtle way. We will pay the price of sustaining behaviors that become detrimental. We get married to those repetitions. So we have to think about the emotional, spiritual, and physical price that we will pay just to get into the pool of lamenting, regretting, having remorse, complaining, blaming others. It's your fault. Okay? So for me, I didn't lose my mother. My mom, she passed. That's a languaging. But I choose to keep my mom alive. Now, again, I never attribute any merit to my state. I definitely think my particular case, as yours, is the grace of the universe waiting for us. So the trigger in my case, it might be because I had to go through the process of non-attachments to a body, to a memory. So I am grateful and lucky and humble enough to recognize that that's the gift of life. I have no merit. I have been learning in the school of life. The school of life is when you look behind, you look forward, and it makes no sense. And the only sense is how you feel at that moment. That's when you advance in life. So from the past, my source, my extraction, the juice I can squeeze from it is gratitude. If I look forward, I will see the future as a magnetic field that will attract me based on my choices. So if I am appealed to negativity, my future, that magnetic field will absorb and attract me to it. So my focus will only be negative things. So unconsciously, I'm designing my future by choices now, but it makes no sense to look at the future. So how can I build a marriage where I have peace? First, let's see the choices with yourself. The marriage comes with yourself. We extract the example of marriage to anything. The intake of elements, the intake of energies, what we learn, the videos we watch, the habits we do, all of that digestion is the compounding of the choices we are making towards the future. So we have to see the future like a train or a bus that you are close to the bus. You want to get into the bus and you know that that's your boss, and you are running after the boss because the boss is slow and you can't get in. That's the example, or let's say the extractable vision of what the future can be. So if I'm running after a boss thinking that that's my boss and I'm just following it, that's my future. I am attracted to that boss unconsciously. And one day I can see that, oh wow, I was running after this boss and that was in my destiny. That was in my boss. No problem. I will stop. That's why the reference of advancing in life is let me stop and let me understand why am I choosing to take this bus? Why am I choosing to take this direction? The why comes because your state will reveal. So if you are not in a state where if you rate your life from 0 to 10 and it's a 6, the 6 is the why. The 7 is the why. The 10 is the why. The 1 is the why. With self-honesty, if you rate yourself based on the context of your life, not the situation, you might be surprised of the score. Let's jump into this. You asked me, Ralph, how much will you rate your life from 0 to 10? And I said, infinite. And you say, are you mad? What do you mean infinite? Yes, because my life is a context which is not based on the transitory events. It's the whole compounding. So I don't have a rate. Yeah, right, but you need a reference so we can know. I don't have a rate. Why? Because my choices will be based on many influences, circumstances, moments, influences. Now, okay, Ralph, just give me 0 to 10 so I can understand you. Okay? So I'll give myself always a 0. 0? Yes. That means it's bad. In my dictionary, there's no good, bad, wrong, right. In my dictionary, it's all neutral, all equal. So I'm glad of the past. I'm glad for the future I'm attracted to, and I'm glad about the present because I am married to a choice that only reproduce light and love. I am married to love. My best friend is love. My environment is love. My choices, all of them are based in love. Now, I'm not trying to make a difference. I'm trying to share with you without willing to persuade, just for you to see yourself in this state. What am I married to? Oh, wow. Ralph seems like he's a happy man. He's a happy spirit. He doesn't have a downside. He doesn't have some days that he wants to kill himself. Well, a thought can come in, but that's not me. I am the context. I respect that as a sky, I might have clouds or not, depending on where I am. So if I go to a hot place, I might not be seeing many clouds, sorry. But if I am in a place in the north of the pendant, it's all full of clouds, but I'm the sky. So as a sky, I have no problem. If it's raining, if the sun is there, I am just the sky. Silent, still, infinite. That's what you are. You are the sky. You are infinite. Your color is unshakable. Any part of the universe you go, you look up, the color is the same. That's you. Your essence is love, is infinite, is the capacity to maintain with stillness no matter what happens. Just when you recognize it with humility, you recognize it with honesty. I had to make an inventory in my life and be honest and face the painful things, the choices I had, and understand that I was running after buses and trains, and that wasn't my destiny. So imagine if you are going to Mexico and you end up in Nigeria. Now, the airport, they made a mistake. They didn't tell me. They didn't this. I can choose that one, or I can say I was distracted. I was looking at my phone. I follow the queue, and that's it. I'm in Nigeria now. Now, I will choose to be free. That's the why am I in Nigeria. So there's no problem. There's always time to jump in a new plane, to have a new decision. I might go to Nigeria and love it. It might be a lesson for me. So in your life, as a whole context, an infinite context that can be exposed to change and transformation, because not every change brings transformation, okay? But transformation does bring change. Let's difference that. So, to end up this wonderful video, let's study what are we married to. Then that will give us an example. Now, I'm not saying take your husband or your wife, open the window and kick them out. No, I'm saying, first of all, with us, the relationship we have with us. Are we friendly with ourselves? Are we loving with ourselves? Are we considerating ourselves? Because you cannot considerate others if you don't considerate yourself. Are we able to rate ourselves as infinite? Yes, we are. If I am created by something, so do you. So there is no difference between you and I. Sorry, there's no difference in essence. There might be a difference in appearance, which is, oh wow, Ralph seems like he's in this state. Yeah, that's what appears to be, or you, but that can change. And because that can change, I will just go to the essence, which will never change, which is the sky. So the temporary might change, the temperature might change, the weather might change, but the sky is always the sky. So we don't need to prove to others. We need to know what we are. And knowing what we are will help us to adapt to ourselves. Imagine the sky saying, oh wow, why is it full of clouds here in this part? And why is it so clear in this part? Imagine the sky. So the sky is not personal. The same example we can give to a train. The train doesn't know where you're taking it. The train just goes. He knows it's a train. Once it's on, the train goes. Once it's off, the train stops. The train doesn't have to prove you that it can take you. He knows that once it's on, it will go. So let's go to the root and our essence of knowing that we are capable of more. Okay? We choose a good marriage with ourselves. We choose to be good friends with ourselves. We choose to be good lovers. So remember, I always insist, I will not focus on the result, on what I want to take from you. I will focus on the effort I am putting into the game. Look at everything you are doing. When you enjoy the doing of it, the results comes on its own. And sometimes we are surprised. Wow, I did that. I cannot believe. Oh, wow. Because you were focused on the effort, on the doing, on the creative side of it. So the why will come on itself. The result will express itself. You might have some situations as me. I have done all my best, and the result wasn't what I was expecting. That is why I told you first that I give myself a 0, because you never know the conditions, the external influences can be there playing the role as well. It might be something, a potential result or not. You might fight for something and you are thinking, because I have done all of this, there is a green light, and it never comes. But that's because there is external factors. So we accept them as part of life and we move on. How many times have you went to on a vacation to a sunny place and it was raining? It can happen. Oh wow, I just searched the time and the weather wasn't showing this. External factors can happen. So don't beat yourself up if you find yourself in a final state where it wasn't representing what you were expecting. That will teach us that expectations are not always certain. They are based on the mind. We create the illusion. Now, let's create the reality. I love you. I send you peace to your heart. Don't take life serious, but that means don't take your mentality serious. Don't take your emotions seriously. That's the deeper meaning if you want to take it like that way. So when someone tells you don't take it seriously, it means they might be missing the energy of joking, of humor in your presence. I laugh at situations because I found it very comical. How can I get upset with this? It makes no sense. You understand? And that it makes it smoothie and it allows me to see the channels where I can take the exit without hating, without feeling guilt or regretting. So humor is a very good ingredient if we want to make the life softer. Now, sometimes you will not feel like you want to joke about it, and I get it. But at some point, you will see how useful it is. It's like water. Sometimes you're not thirsty, but it is. Take very good care of your soul. I'll see you in the next video, of course.